Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here, and I just finally got in watched Crisis on Infinite Earths Part One, and I want to give you guys my honest opinion about it. They did a really good job with it. I'm actually very astounded that they were able to give us a good level of story, but they show only parts of it. So we haven't gotten Black Lightning, we haven't met the future, the Kingdom Come Superman. I thought they were gonna kill off Ray and have Ray do a monumental ending to his character. He's gonna do a sacrifice, and then that's when they can introduce the new Superman, introduce Brandon Routh's Superman, and but we don't know how. We honestly don't know the length of his character in this, but but uh but I thought they were gonna kill off Brandon Routh, but they actually did what all we all knew it was gonna happen, but they did it. They did in the first episode. They did Oliver's death. Oliver's death happened in the first episode, so that was shocking. I was shocked on that. I thought that they were gonna, kill somebody else, like another hero, like Ray was gonna die, and then it was gonna be a huge thing. Like Ray used his suit to actually do a shielding to help everybody to prevent something, and then they all get in there and he just gets completely destroyed. He gets completely killed by the shadow demons. Um, now, the story is good, but there are bad levels of writing in here. I hate to say that, and I really hate to give any level of negativity towards what these guys are. This monumental achievement. This is, in my honest opinion, this is CW's in Infinity War Endgame. They were building up to this. And I don't want to take that away because this is a TV show. These are TV shows and they have a TV show budget and they can only do so much that what DC and WB can allow them to do. Now, even though CW is owned by WB, um, they can only do so much with the story and also with all the costumes. Now, some Pariah's costume looks a little hokey in my personal opinion. They should have kept it more streamlined. Um, Harbinger's looks really good. I actually like how they did Harbinger's. It looks like a suit. I don't like Pariah's because it looks like something you get from Party City. It's pretty bad. But I give them kudos for trying to keep it comic book accurate. Now, let's get into this. So, they start off by showing that the monitor is telling the birth of the universe. He's telling the birth of how the multiverse happened, and that every choice and every decision that everyone makes, it spreads off into a different alternate reality. Um, and every decision does this and this and this and this and this and this and this. So but they kind of muddled it up because, and I'll talk about this a little bit later about what happened with them going to another version of Star City. So so we get introduced to Supergirl because this is pretty much primarily a Supergirl episode. So they were showing some instances of her being a superhero, and they introduced Will Wheaton, which was weird. I mean, it was kind of like that "shut up Wesley" type of situation. Like, dude, shut up Wesley. But it was entertaining. I mean, again, Supergirl is not written very very well in my personal opinion. I think it's not written very well. I think it's written by fourth graders that just want to have happy sunshine type of storylines, and they think that that's what everybody wants, and that's not what everybody wants. Um, um, so then we get to the fact that they now get introduced to the antimatter wave, and they get an instance of this is going on, and Brainy tells them that he doesn't know exactly what it is. He's like, what he doesn't know exactly what it is. He can analyze it, but it's in all honesty, it's a little bit above his pay grade because they never dealt with this. So here's the funnier thing. This is the funniest thing in the world. If Crisis did happen, why didn't the Legion know about it? Why didn't they know about this? That was the thing that makes me go, they kind of didn't explain this because if they were even a hint of thinking about the this was going to happen, they should have had Brady get information back from the Legion and them telling them, "Hey, something changed here." And Brady's like, well, "What do you mean what's changed?" And he's getting all this information, but he doesn't know because he's on the outside of time because he's now interacting with time. And they get information from Win because Win is able to decipher to bring information back through time, so they don't have to converge with time anymore. But because of what happened with the antimatter wave, they can explain a whole bunch of stuff like, why didn't Brainy know about this? Because if Crisis was happened, then their future would know about it. That's something that they would know. But they didn't know nothing in the previous seasons. Again, this is one of those things that if they were gonna build towards Crisis on Infinite Earths, then they should have gotten information that from the future, because I know Win went to the future. That was his end story. He went to the future instead of Brainy, so Brainy could stay here. And they could have had this whole conversation about this impending doom, but they don't know what it is. Something happened and changed everything on this earth, but they don't know what it was, because all information was basically erased. So they don't know anything. And but Win knows that things have changed because of what he knows of the past, and things changed. And he's like, wait a minute, that changed. So they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on, and that's what leads to Brainy knowing that something's happened in the future. So if any person explains that, hey, wait a minute, you come from the future, you come from over 1,000 years in the future, you don't know this, you don't know what the heck happened with Crisis, we can easily say, hey, why didn't Brainy know about this? They can easily explain the reason why is because if you go back to this episode, they explain it, but the fact is that the history was completely rewritten, and Brainy doesn't know about it, mainly because he's converging with time. So he can't know what's going to happen in the future. Everything is completely changed now because he's in the past. So a lot of things can change, and he's thinking it's because of him being in the past, but it's not. It's because of Crisis. Crisis happened, and things completely changed. So they don't. So you can easily fill those plot holes, because that's a plot hole to me. That's a huge plot hole. That why doesn't anybody from the future? Why didn't the Legion know about the freaking Crisis event? You know, and also when they were doing the invasion storyline, why didn't the massive future Barry mention about Crisis? Why didn't he mention about it? Like, hey, that happened. He says a few words that makes everyone go, what the heck? But it's later that makes him go, oh, he's trying to help prevent Crisis because of this is what happened. So those were small things that made us go like, wait a minute. Then that means that Grant Gustin's Barry Allen, he survives Crisis, because there's a version of him in the future in 2049 that basically tells them about the whole situation. Now, anybody who's followed The Flash, they know the episode where they get that information is when Barry screwed around with time. That was back in season 3. That was back in season 3 when they were doing the whole Savitar event, because that was Invasion. And that was the whole reasoning of why everyone got this information about what happened in the future. And they know that Barry screwed up because he did Flashpoint. That's how everybody knows that Barry did Flashpoint and messed everybody's fates up, everybody's destinies there, and changed everything. So that's where I felt that they should have left breadcrumbs to have us understand, like, if Crisis was their end game, was their Infinity War, they should have did other episodes to explain why did this happen, when they should understand, like, hey, wait a minute, this is what's going on. Because the moment the Monitor kept saying, you are meant to die, this is Crisis event, is da da da, I know a lot of us can say, well, time changed. No, they can easily say, hey, wait a minute, long ago, 3 years ago, after I did Flashpoint, I got information from myself back in 2049 that talked about something else. It never talked about Crisis, so I know that I survived Crisis. Now you're telling me that future doesn't exist? If that future didn't exist, then you're creating massive paradoxes. And Barry can easily try to say, hey, wait a minute, blah 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 blah. So those are like little small plot holes that you can easily fill in, like explain. So YouTubers like myself doesn't make these type of videos saying like, hey, wait a minute, what is this plot hole? There's massive plot holes. Like, if Crisis was this big altering event, didn't anybody from the future know about this? That's all. That's it. That's all we need to know. Like, how did they not know? How did they not know? Now, you can attribute to Flash that it's because of Nora. You could say Nora changed everything. She sped up Crisis, which eroded the whole 2049 storyline. but it's here or there. So, but anyway, we catch up with Supergirl, and they're talking about the whole event, and then she gets information about, okay, what other habitable planets are nearby. They said only one, and it's Argo City. So they're like, okay, we gotta get a message to Cal and Lois, because apparently in the last season, and I know that this happened because I saw the episode. He basically told Kara that he's gonna take his son to Argo City, and he's gonna hang up the cape. He's leaving the whole planet to her. He doesn't want to be Superman anymore. Now, this should have pissed a lot of fans off. You're telling me Clark is gonna give up being Superman? He's going to give up being Superman to his cousin, which doesn't have nowhere near the experiences he does. That, to me, that makes no sense. He thrusted the whole wanting to protect the whole planet on because he felt that it was the right thing to do. That's been his whole core of his character. He protects the planet because he feels that it's the right thing to do with his powers. And for him to give it up because, he has a son and he's with Lois, I would say he can give it up for the time being, as long as, when Lois is pregnant and she's during her maternity. Okay. But for Lois to give up her career at the planet, journalism, that doesn't sound like Lois to me. She wouldn't do that for very long. She would go on maternity leave and then immediately go right back to work. She would tell freaking Clark, "No, I'm going back to work. You can quit being a reporter all you want, but I think honestly the world needs Superman." Well, what about Kara? Okay. What's the problem with two superheroes? That's Lois. She'd be like, wait a minute, why are you giving it all up? That's not Lois. That's not Clark. So anybody who complains about what Zack Snyder did or what CW did, like some of the things I complain about, you could throw this right back in my face, right back in anybody's faces. Clark, Superman, gives up being Superman. He gives it up. He gives it all up to be a family man. Now, again, I can say he can do it for the time being. As long as his kid's a baby, okay, that's perfectly fine. But he needs to get back into the suit. That's Superman. He is Superman. And it's laughable that people are saying Tyler Hoechlin's a better Superman than Henry Cavill. Or he's like one of the best Supermans they've ever seen since Tom Welling or Christopher Reeve. I go, what? Whoa, what? This dude gave up being Superman. That was my biggest problem with Batman Begins. The whole Dark Knight saga. You get Bruce, who goes through all this training, all this stuff to try to save his city, and he gives up being Batman after being Batman for 2 years, versus this version of Superman has been Superman for close to maybe over 10 years. But Bruce has been Batman for 2 years, and he gives it up because of the death of a woman and because of what happened to Harvey. Or what? What? Why? This is Batman. Like I said, this is Superman. Why would he give it up? Why would he completely give it up? He said in the episode he was giving up the cape. He did not want to be Superman anymore. He didn't put a stipulation that, oh, because my kid's a baby. No, he said, no, I want to be a family man. He did not want to be Superman anymore. What? That makes no sense to me. To me, that makes no sense. So, let's move forward from that. So we get to Cal and Lois being saved by Alora, the beautiful Erica Durance. Oh my God, she's still beautiful. Jesus Christ, wow. And they imitate the same thing that happened in Superman. She said that there's no way we can save everybody, so she saved one vessel, and they could put their child in. I'm like, what? What levels of nostalgia is this? Now, honestly, it was a great. Okay, I'm gonna break down the scene. The scene was great, but the thing they could have said was the thing that Tyler Hoechlin's Clark had said is, now I know how my mom and dad felt. Now I know. I understand. And Laura can go, yeah. And Lois can go, wow, yeah. Now she understands. She can understand how much fear, how much resentment, how much longing that Lana and Jor-El had to face by sending their only child, the first child that they've ever had, to send him away because they want to save him from the destruction of Krypton. And now they're doing the same exact thing by sending their child, who was named Jonathan Kent, Now I don't know if it's Jonathan Connor Kent or however they're gonna call it, what his middle name is. I don't know his full name, but we know it's Jonathan Kent. By sending Jonathan away in a vessel to Earth from basically a piece of Krypton from Argo City. Wow, dude, that made me laugh. And I don't mean laughing at the scene. I'm laughing at the fact that they did that level of nostalgia and they did it almost near perfect to how to mirror what was going on with Superman. That he was saying goodbye to his son and he knew that there was no way he can save him. There was no way he can save him. He didn't have his powers. He's under a red sun. He doesn't have his powers. If he had his powers, he would actually probably flew out there, hit the meteor, and try to fly the meteor away from there. Here's my only thing. This is my only complaint about the whole situation, not the scene, but the situation. Why didn't he have why do you have the little portal device that basically Cisco created for everybody? Why didn't he have one? He could have just went boop and popped the thing, and both him and his wife and kid would have been whoop right through the freaking portal. Everybody would have been running through the portal. He could have ran back, got the damn thing, open portal, so everybody get here, open the portal, and everybody could have been just running in, get as many people as he could in, back to Earth. Get as many people as he could off the planet. Told Lois, no, go through the portal first. Get through the portal first. I'll be the last one out. That would have been tenseful because you would have saw Clark look at the camera basically, and he's seeing the antimatter wave coming at through Argo, and it's slowly erasing all of Argo. And you're seeing his face go, what the hell? We'd have been like, what, dude? Hurry up! People still running through it. He's sitting there going, come on, and then he finally gets through. Last bit. Everybody saved on Argo. That would have been awesome. That would have been a very intense scene. Everybody's on Argo. So the Kryptonians would have slowly start getting their powers. That would have been, they would have had an army of Kryptonians? Oh, wow. That'd have been the end of whatever the hell they were going to be doing. They could have easily repowered that thing and saved everybody. Anyway, Supergirl was remorseful because she saw her Argo's gone. She knows her cousin is dead, her mother is dead, Lois is dead, her whole people is now wiped out. She just watched the destruction of Krypton again. That's from her perspective. She just watched the destruction of Krypton again. So Melissa Benoist did a really, really good job with it. I applaud her. I really do. I applaud her for the fact is you can see on her face the same face as the little girl they showed in the first scene of the first episode, as she just whimpered over the fact that she just saw the destruction of Krypton. And Melissa Benoist captured that very well. Captured it very well in my personal opinion. It wasn't exact. It wasn't right there. There wasn't a lot of emotion because I'm not truly invested in the series. I'm not invested in Melissa Benoist's Supergirl, but I can appreciate the fact that Melissa Benoist did a very good job recapturing. She just watched the destruction of Krypton all over again. So now the way she's acting, she does not want this plan to be destroyed. She's trying to do everything she possibly can, but then we get the introduction of Harbinger. Then we get in Ashley Marie Robinson. That's what her name is. Ashley Marie Robinson does a phenomenal job. I love her costume. And they say, Lila? She goes, nope, I'm Harbinger. And she gets all the heroes. Now, all the heroes. So she gets Oliver and Mia, because we see him at the end of the last week's episode of Arrow talking to Mia about how he cannot let go of Lian Yu because Lian Yu is a part of him. He cannot let go of it. He has to basically move past it. He has to move completely past it and know that Lian Yu is a part of him. And that everything he ever done in the island is what forged him to the person that he is now. That he can, and now he can hopefully move forward. He can move on. And he's glad that his daughter's with him, that he could finally meet his daughter. He could finally be able to help her and become a great hero herself. So, so Marie, Lila shows up and says, the impending crisis is coming. Let's go. Then we get Barry We get Barry talking about the fact that he's racing around the city saying, "Hey, is everything cool?" And then boom, Lila shows up. He says, "Did the monitor send you?" He goes, "Yes." He goes, "The crisis is coming." "Yes, let's go." And she goes, "He's ready. He's ready to go." Boom, goes away. So she gathers all the heroes. The one that made me laugh my butt off, and I can now see how terrible, terrible the action choreography, the writing for Batwoman is. I can truly see now the terrible writing for Batgirl. I mean Batwoman. Batwoman is terrible. You get the Alice's rabbits stealing money for no apparent reason. No apparent reason. Now I can understand that Alice is crazy and we don't understand the context of what the heck's going on. But Batwoman shows up and says, "Where's Alice?" And in the weird cut, it shows them pull up their guns, start shooting, and then all of a sudden she pulls up her cape and gets out of the way. I'm like, and then all of a sudden you see them, looking around, and all of a sudden guys get beaten down, taken down, this and that, and a cape, like I'm like, this is so bad. Batman would never do that. Batman would never do that. I'm sorry, he would never, ever, ever just jump in the middle without you, unless he has enough gadgets to take them down and disarm them. That's why I say, if you look back at the warehouse scene in BVS, that's exactly what Batman would do. He was nowhere. They could not see where he was at, and all of a sudden they saw these things on top of their weapons, and all their weapons are blowing up in their hands. And then he dropped down and took them all out. He took out all the assault weapons. These rabbits had assault weapons, and she basically just ran in the middle of all of them and started taking them all out. I'm like, this is this is terrible. They could have easily said, you know what? The guy could have said, screw this. Just shoot in every direction. Shoot in a 180 direction and just shoot all of the men. Who cares? She's going to run in the middle of them, so who cares? Who cares? He would have gotten her. He probably would have gotten a good snipe shot right and slowed her down. She was like, "Bow, what the?" And then one of the guys, "What the?" And that, I mean, dude. You know, could have fixed the scene? A smoke bomb. Easy. The moment she did this, which was a dumb thing, all she could have did was whoo. And the moment she's about to pull the cape, she takes out a smoke pellet, throws it, and then moves. And then the moment they're going, "Hey, what the?" And then all this smoke comes and they're like, hey, they're coughing and everything. They're taking their helmets off, coughing. And then that's when she grabs them by the necks and does all of her moves. I'd have been perfectly fine with that. Any one of us would have been perfectly fine with it. Any one of us would be like, yeah, that's exactly what Batman would do. You don't just jump in the middle of an assault, guys with assault weapons, and just take them all out. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That's what pulled me out of the whole freaking scene. It pulled me out. I'm like, Batman would never be that dumb. Batman would not do something that stupid. He would use his tech to take out their assault weapons, and in the midst of the confusion that their weapons are done, he jumps in and takes them all out. That's Batman. She just basically just runs in because, like Healsburg versus Babyface, like Theoris Unlimited, and so is Jay Longbone, and anybody else who goes, this is stupid. They will all say Batman would not be this stupid. He would never run in the middle of guys with assault weapons and take them all one by one. One by one. That is dumb. I'm sorry. That is stupid. Beyond all measures. And I am very, very appalled and ashamed that people are writing this level of trash for a Bat character. Here, I'll use a case in point. Oliver would never do that stupid. He would never be that stupid. He would never just run into a group of men with assault weapons and just take them all down one by one. No, he would take out their weapons. He would make sure that they're incapacitated from shooting him to death. He would never do that. So I could say, well, she got a bulletproof vest. So what? A stray bullet going like this can easily shoot her in the face. Oh my god, I cannot wait for Heels versus Babyfaces. I cannot wait for a couple of these people's reviews. Oh my god, this was terrible. That scene was terrible. It gonna pull him out of the whole. It would probably pull him out for a little while. And also, she's written so bad and so cringy. It's terrible. So I'm gonna move past this. Lila shows up, and Batwoman's sitting there saying, uh, I don't care. I'm looking for Alice. I'm like, then you don't need her. She's useless. If she's not looking at the bigger picture, like, hey, a person just appeared in front of you, says, hey, I need your help. The planet needs your help. You're gonna sit there and say, nah, I need to worry about Alice. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry for my language. I'm gonna put a explicit tag on here. Get the f out of here. That shows how stupid, how sadistic, and also how stubborn, and mainly how selfish this character is. You got a being that just appeared in front of you in a flash of light, and you're gonna look at them and they're gonna say, Batwoman, you are needed. The planet needs your help. And you're gonna say, screw you, I need to find Alice. I think Alice can wait, dude. And the moment she heard all this stuff, appearing in front of Supergirl, appearing in front of a guy that's dressed just like Supergirl, in front of Oliver, in front of freaking Barry, you know these people. You know who Oliver Queen is. You know who Barry Allen is. You're gonna sit there and say, screw you? What? This is a selfish, stupid character. Batman would never insult any of them. He'll just be like, okay, what's the deal? What's the problem? Because we're going to get this done as I can go back to looking for what I need to look for. Yes, he'll be a little stubborn about things, but he would never say, the planet doesn't need me. No, he'd be like, nope, you need me. Okay, that means it's dire. It's dire that they need you. I am baffled. I am baffled how they wrote this character in this episode. I am baffled. And now the next episode is her episode. It's her it's Batwoman's side, part 2. And we're supposed to meet Tom Welling. We're supposed to meet the future Superman, and we're gonna meet also Black Lightning, and he's gonna meet up with Pariah, and this whole situation is gonna go to pot. So I'm sitting here going, dude, this is oh my god, dude. If she goes ham about I don't need men, oh dude, I want somebody to put her in the ground. I want somebody to put her in her place. She needs it. She needs someone to put her in her place to make her realize, listen, you may be a hero, but there's a lot you need to learn. And it's not to degrade her character. If people think that a guy puts her into the ground, because listen, regardless of how much Kate has been trained, Oliver's a much better trained individual. He could take her down. But if you make it where Oliver cannot take her down, you just underserve Oliver's character. You completely underserve his character. If this guy could take out Ra's al Ghul, if this guy could take out Deathstroke, if this guy could take out another version of Deathstroke, if this guy could take on a guy who's made of magic, he could take out another guy that's as trained as he is. He could take out all these people. Richard Dragon, Ricardo the Dragon Diaz. He could take out all these people. But he cannot take out Batwoman because she has plot armor and also because she is a bad character. You just underserved your whole thing about Oliver Queen. You underserved him. That makes absolutely no sense. He's better trained. In this context, the way you've been writing him for the past 9 years, and I'm saying 9 years mainly because there was also pre-writing they had to do for him. So I'm saying about 9 years of preparation for this character. You wrote this character, and you're going to underserve his character. That is a huge, terrible way of doing it. Now, and also you can use it as a teaching tool for her. Like, hey, listen, you're amongst other heroes. You're amongst other heroes. These other heroes are bringing something to the table. If you feel that you can't bring anything to the table, just go sit in the corner. Go sit in the corner. But no, they need her for some strange, odd reason. Then we saw Titans. We saw Hawk, and we saw the kid who plays as Jason Todd. When the wave hit, we saw Burt Ward when the wave hit. We saw Richard Wool, the guy who played as Alexander Knox in 89 Batman. Woof. And then they showed the Batwoman signal. They showed the Batwoman signal. Instead of the classic Batman signal. I think that was an error on their part. I think they thought that no one would see it. Dude, I saw it. If you pause it and look, it's the Batwoman signal. Anywho, all right. So she gathers them all up. Kate does her thing. Like she believes she's better than sliced bread, and they kind of put her in her place a little bit and saying, "Hey, we do need you." And she's like, "I don't know anybody in this room." And I'm like, "Really? You know Oliver and Barry? How the hell can you? I mean, come on. You know over half the people here." She's like, "Well, I trust you and I trust all these people with my life, even you." I'm like, "Oh my God, this is so. Where did this trust come from? Where did this trust come from? Because of Elseworlds? They never teamed up. They haven't teamed up yet. So how can we relate to this information that she trusts her with her life? What? Like I said, listen, the episode was good. The writing was weird. It made absolutely no sense to what the heck was going on in the previous stuff. It made no sense to what they already established. That's like Barry and Oliver who never met each other, and for one instance, like they were animosity towards each other, and all of a sudden they're best friends. No, you already established long ago that Barry saw Oliver as a hero. Joe said, "Dude, the guy put arrows in people's chests. He's a bad guy." And he says, "No, he's going against bad people. Yes, he has a weird way of doing it, but he's trying something different. He is. He's trying something different." This was back in season 2 of Arrow. This is the first season of Arrow. I mean, first season of The Flash. He said, Barry even stated it. He said that no, he's a good guy. And that's what makes the last portion of this episode so heartbreaking. It is a very heartbreaking scene. I give it for the whole cast. They did a really good job. It was great. It was a great scene. So these towers come out of the ground, and they all think, okay, well, we got a problem. And then all of a sudden, Barry and Kara and Cal, they show up and they say, no, 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 those towers are fine. Those were built by the Monitor to protect the planet. Now here's a note. Now the Monitor stated he did all of this to prepare them. He knows that they think that he's a bad guy, but they don't know what the heck has been going on. They know nothing. They know nothing of his real intentions. So he's willing to let them believe it. He doesn't care. He's saying, no, I'm trying to prevent the destruction of all realities. I don't care what they think of me. And I'm like, cool, great way of writing this guy. He's like, dude, I don't care. I'm a cosmic being. I don't give two S's what these mortals think of who I am. I'm trying to give them opportunity to protect their universe. Whatever. Whatevs. And I'm like, cool, great. So we moved on. Now let's move on. So the Monitor, no, I'm sorry, Cal and all the rest of them say, okay, so we got to protect those things. So they got to go down over there, and they mention that Jonathan is not. It fell through a wormhole. They're like, where the hell did he go? And he says, well, I tracked it all the way to Star City in I think it's Universe 16. They're like, okay. They say they say that, but it's in 2049. And they're like, but wait. And then Ray makes a statement saying, oh yeah, we were there. We've been there, right? She goes, yeah, but it was an alternate universe. It goes, and Brady goes, oh yeah, so alternate reality. That might make it a little bit more troublesome. So and they establish that Ray is on Brainy's level, which is funny as hell because Ray is able to speak in a language that Brainy can understand, so they can able to communicate very, very well in scientific terms. And I think that was a really good thing to do. It was good hilarity. And then let's move on from that. But I think that was a really good scene. So Clark says, okay, well, I'm going there to go get my son. And Oliver's like, whoa, listen to me. He goes, listen, I understand how you feel. And Clark's like, dude, are you kidding me here? It was funny. He's like, excuse me? I'm like, oh boy, that's Superman. He's like, dude, what? Are you kidding me here, man? I'm going to go save my son. Nothing can stop me from that, bro. And he goes, no, I understand because I'm a father too. I'm a father too. And I understand more than anything you want to protect your family, but you also got to realize the planet needs Superman. And that's what woke Clark up. Make Clark go, damn, he's right. You can't just run off to go save your family and the world doesn't have a protection. I understand how you feel, man. If it was any other way, I would let you go. He would say, no, go save your family, go save your kid. That's fine. We can protect it. But he says, no, we need the most powerful forces here now. We need the most powerful forces. So Lois says, I'll go. And he's like, Lois, no way. She goes, I'll back her up. Yes, Sarah says, I'll back her up because I know the terrain. And Bernie says, and I can get us there. So she says, I'll bring our son home. You protect our planet. He goes, okay. So you're like, wow, that was well written. That was well written because it makes sense. Clark would say, screw this. I'm saving my kid. Oliver's like, hey, whoa, 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 dude, we need as much power as we possibly can, man. The world needs Superman. I'm sorry. I am. I'm very, very sorry. But you can't do that. You can't just run off to go save your kid and the planet has no protection. And anybody that goes, oh, I don't think Superman would do that. If Superman walked away from the planet Earth to go save his kid, that's not Superman. I'm sorry, that's not Superman. And they did a really good job to say that, hey, Lois is going, which is great. Lois is going. What the heck is she going to do there? What is she going to provide? And then they don't need Sarah, in all honesty, because they got three martial artists in Mia, Oliver, and in some ways Batwoman. They got two powerhouses in Clark and Kara. They have the fastest man alive, which is Barry, and they have a tech prowess genius in freaking in Ray. They don't need Sarah. They're perfectly good. So it was good. I was like, okay, great. They gave a good out, and they gave a great line that made Oliver realize that the world needs protection. That I know how you feel. And this is the lesson he was trying to teach Mia, that he can't just shirk away and be with his family and the world needs protection. He can't do that. That's not the type of man he is. He has to protect people. That's the reason why he put on the hood for the third time. He put on the hood for the third time because he wanted to save people's lives. He didn't want to shirk away from his chores. He didn't want to shirk away from his responsibilities and his destiny. His destiny is to be the Green Arrow. So I really like the scene. I thought that I know that people are gonna have a little bit of a problem with it. Some people are gonna have a problem with it. Me personally, I thought it was a really good scene. So we also move forward with they finally get to the tower, and we also know that this version of 2049, it's literally a completely different Star City. And they get to the bunker. And the funnier part is, it looks like the same bunker that they went to when they dealt with Star City 2049 episode in Legends, but it's a completely different. Because Oliver finds the baby, puts it away, and attacks everybody. Now, he straight up states that he's shocked that he sees Sarah. He's completely shocked about that. And she's like, wait a minute, you know I'm alive. He goes, no, whoa, whoa, whoa. He hasn't seen her since the fall of the Gambit. So that tells to me that this is a completely different universe. This is not the same 2049 universe. So there is no Connor Hawk. Diggle's son is not the Green Arrow. This is still Oliver Queen. And I don't know, and I don't think that he is the Green Arrow. I think that he's still calling himself the Arrow. Because there's no mention of Diggle, there's no mention of Felicity. It's weird. There's something I'm thinking about at the very end, and I'll get to it, about them introducing this older Green Arrow, and it coincides with some stuff that happened in the Flash. So I'll get to that when I get to the ending of this. So they get the baby, and she tells them about that. Basically, Oliver says that everything was his fault. He blames himself this whole time. So I'm thinking that he still calls himself the Arrow. He is not calling himself, or the Hood. He's not calling himself Green Arrow. He's still ruled by what happened on that island. He's still ruled over Sarah's death. I think that Laurel is not a part of it anymore. I think a lot happened. He went on a much darker path. And she says, no, I made that decision, not you. And also, it made me into a person that I'm actually happy with. Getting on that boat was the best damn thing I ever did. I got to see you again. I got to go on some grand adventures. I'm now a hero, and I'm also traveling around time. I'm happy for the first time in her life. So she doesn't blame Oliver for anything, and Oliver should just let it go. He is not to truly have blame for all of this. So what I think, so that was a great scene. That is a great scene, and I really like that. And it shows Sarah telling this Oliver to book in that version of himself and put it away. Like let it go. I'm happy, and you should be happy for me too. And he realizes that, and then they leave, and then we catch up to everybody, and they're in the tower, and they have to deal with all these shadow demons. So they go through some fights and everything, and it's really cool. And then we get to them saying that the tower is losing energy. So they're like, "What the heck is going on?" So Supergirl and Superman fly up to the top, and they see that it has solar panels. So he says, "Well, we can light them up, but we can only light up for so long. This thing's been powering under the sun for millions and millions of years, most likely." So she says, "Okay, we can only do it for so long, and also it'll give them enough time." So in this instance, let's move over to how they're going to get off the planet. Now, Kara's sister and John says that the only way they can get off is unless they create a transmat to go somewhere to another planet, to another universe. She says, "Well, no one can build one that big and that fast." She says, "Well, Lex's sister can." And they go, "We can't trust her." I'm sitting there going, "What, are you nuts? Are you absolutely stupid?" And it gets revolved back into the episode, later in the scene, when she confronts her and asks her for her help. This shows how stupid these people are, and they want to keep layering on this drama that makes absolutely no sense. You could have easily cut through all the red tape and just said, "Hey, listen, we screwed you. We screwed you over. We didn't tell you the truth. I understand how you feel. I still think that there's something going on, and I think that you have a lot to answer for. But right now, we need your help." And that's it. Just don't layer it on with, "I'm so sorry that all this had to happen, and this and this." All this stupid levels of drama that makes no sense to the scene and what she's purposely there for. She's not there to apologize for her actions. She's there to ask for her help. She even stated that she is not apologetic for what she did. So why the heck are you even talking about you're sorry? Why are you even talking about you're sorry? That makes absolutely no sense. Two, oh man, Lex's sister flat out states that, "I don't trust any of you. I don't trust any of you. You all showed to me who you truly are by lying to me this whole time. You couldn't trust me, so I don't trust you. But for you to think that I would risk the planet and everyone on it just because of a beef, you definitely don't know me." I'm like, thank God. That's exactly what it is. She's about survival. "Listen, I need your help. The planet's about to be destroyed. Okay, all of reality is about to be destroyed. We need you to build a device. Can you do that for us?" She would say, "Huh." She would throw a zinger, but then she'd say, "Sure, okay, no problem. I want to survive. I want to live." So why the heck are you layering this peanut butter level drama that makes absolutely no sense? And she flat out threw it back in her face saying, "I don't trust you. You just proved to me that you just showed to me all these years that you never trusted me with her secret. You think I was going to tell people? You think I was going to reveal it to Lex? You thought of this, you thought of that?" And it made no sense to the scene. You threw all this drama for nothing that could have been cut for literally about 5 minutes. And you could have had more time with action. More time with action. Oh my God, dude. One of the things I'm hoping is that Katie McGrath gets the heck off this show. This is a waste of her acting ability. She needs to be on a better show. Supergirl is written by a 7-year-olds. By 7-year-olds. There is no way you can literally write a scene to have it layer that thick of an apology, and then basically rebuttal the whole thing of what you're saying by saying, I don't apologize for my actions." Then why did you apologize? You threw out the apology just to make her feel better, and then when she doesn't reciprocate it, you just go, "Okay, well then I never believed it anyway." Then what the heck? You just proved to her you don't trust her. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's dumb. It's dumb. You didn't need to do all that. You could have just cut to the chase. She's about survival. You tell her exactly what the heck is going on. She will listen to you. Because she'll just go, okay, so the plan's being destroyed. Okay, yes, it's being destroyed by antimatter wave. She goes, huh. You could say, if somebody says, well, how would she know, then how would she know how dangerous that is? Would she believe her? Dude, she's probably been analyzing with her computers this whole time. The moment that thing showed up, the moment the red sky showed up, she was like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on here? What the heck are these readings? And the moment she says it's an antimatter wave, she goes, oh boy, okay, we got to get out of here. She'd be like, yep, I will help you. She'd be more than willing to help because she doesn't want to die. It made no sense why they did that. It made no sense. It made absolutely no sense why they had to go through this peanut butter level drama, that thick of level of drama, just to tell a story. Just to rebuke the whole thing by saying I'm not apologizing for any of my actions. Whatever. So she helps. Now we get to the big pivotal scene. Now, this is the big pivotal scene that really made you go, wow, they did a lot for this. They fight Superman, Supergirl, and all the heroes. They fight all the characters, and that's when there's one thing. I want to get to this. When they talk to Barry reveals that the reason why he's here is because he's meant to die in Crisis. And Oliver's like, no, that's not supposed to happen. He goes, what do you mean? And then Oliver goes, I want to talk now. He talks to the monitor, and when he gets to the monitor, he tells the monitor, wait a minute, what was the purpose of what I did for? Why did I make this deal? It was supposed to be my life for Kara and Barry. That's the deal. And he says, yes, that's exactly what we did. He goes, but then why are you telling Barry he has to die in Crisis? He goes, because he's not giving him any false hopes. That's why. And he tells him right off the bat that you need to tell me everything you know. Tell me everything that you know. He goes, the reason why I don't, this was the greatest way of making me go, thank God for somebody writing something a little bit better here. Whoever wrote this scene did a much better job than the last few scenes. Much better. Because the monitor flat out tells Oliver, the reason why I don't tell you everything is because you need to be prepared for everything. And if you know what's coming, you're not prepared for everything. You know that this is supposed to happen the exact same way, and you will lose hope. It keeps you on guard. If you're fighting for what you believe in, then you fight to the very end. He goes, now do you understand the scope of what's going on? And that's what made Oliver go, well, damn. He can't refute that. He goes, literally, his whole purpose, his whole 12 years, 13 years, 12 years, 12 years, he's been the Green Arrow. He's been doing this life. He's been preparing for he's always been prepared for the unexpected. Nothing has come to him right off the bat. Nothing's been shown to him like, hey, this is what's going to happen. Prepare for it. No. He's been training, getting himself prepared for any type of contingencies. So he's right. He's right. If you knew what was going to happen, would you be prepared for it? No. You would just accept it. You'd be like, wait a minute. Whoa, you would not prepare for the unexpected. So what the monitor did was exactly what Oliver would ever do. So it would actually coincide with what Oliver is. So Oliver just sits there and blankly looks at him like, well, damn. And I'm like, you idiot. He's right. You don't prepare for everything. I'm sorry, you prepare for as much as you possibly can. But everything could change. If you knew what was going to happen, something could change. And you'd be like, hey, wait a minute, this is not supposed to happen. And it erodes your whole plan. Be prepared for everything. So basically, that was the scene, and I thought it was a really great scene. Now let's move over to the pivotal scenes, the last pivotal scene. So they go through their battle, and the monitor shows up and says, everybody has to leave, everybody has to go. And they says, this is not where it's supposed to happen. And you're like, he looks frantic. He looks like, hey, wait a minute, this is not supposed to. He does not look like, in that scene, he didn't look like it was in control. Like this is everything he already foresaw. No, this looks like, hey, wait a minute, this is not supposed to have happened this way. And he's telling them all they all have to leave this planet. So while they're still fighting, and Oliver says, no, keep fighting, save as many people as you possibly can. They're fighting, and that's when the monitor starts zapping everybody out of there. He starts teleporting them all out. Then Oliver sees him like, what the heck are you doing? He goes, this is not what's supposed to have happened. And he goes, nope. He shoots an arrow and knocks him down and pins him down. And you're like, whoa. And he keeps fighting. He keeps fighting, saying as many people as he possibly can. And then when the final ship, because Lex's sister, I keep forgetting her name. I'm gonna call her Katie McGrath's character. Katie McGrath's character, she opens the portal, and everybody escapes. Everybody escapes, and everybody on ships escapes. So Oliver is knocked down, and he loses his bow. And no, he drops his bow because he's out of arrows. He's out of arrows. You're like, oh wow, that's not good. He drops his bow and he screams and he runs at them, and you're like, whoa. And then the last thing goes through and you see a flash of light. And then you're like, what the heck happened? And then you see a portal open, and then you see Oliver's body teleported in, and he's bloodied. And you're like, wow, he looks beaten. And everybody's like, what the heck, Oliver, what's going on? And they say, he fought. He goes, this is not what I foresaw. I'm like, he fought to the very end to save every person. And if you look at his face, you can see that even he was like, what the hell? This was not the end of his story. This was not supposed to be the end of his story. So that tells to me that, wow, this throws everything out the window. This throws everything out the window. Now he says his goodbyes. He says goodbye to Kara. He says goodbye to Barry in one of the greatest ways. I still say is one of the great. Stephen Amell deserves this ending for his character, because he flat out says to Barry, "You're my best friend." And he says that everything he's ever done is to protect him. He says that it was supposed to be his death that's supposed to protect Kara and Barry, because he sees that the both of them are the betterment of, they're the better heroes than him. They're better heroes than him. They can inspire people to want to fight for them. And then that's when the portal opens and you see Brainy, Lois, and Sarah come through, and they come in, and Sarah goes, "Whoa, what happened?" And then and Mia's sitting there crying, of course, and he says to Mia, remember, find your mother and tell her how much I love her. Find your mother and William and tell them how much I love both of them. And she goes, I will. And that's when Pariah shows up, and he goes, Nash? And he goes, not anymore. I'm now a pariah because I released the anti-monitor. He didn't know he released the anti-monitor. He thought he was on this. He thought he was looking for the monitor, but no, it was the anti-monitor he was looking for, and he actually released him. It's stupid. Oh man, he thought he was looking for Novu. He thought Novu was the anti-monitor. No, he wasn't. It was two separate entities. They're supposed to be twins. They're twins. They're supposed to look alike, but one of them got corrupted by antimatter. That's pretty much how it's supposed to be. So, he says, I'm the one that released the anti-monitor, and now he is cursed to forever watch everything the anti-monitor does on every planet. He watched all those planets be eradicated, and he teleports to another planet. And the anti-monitor made him do it because he's the one who released him. So that's kind of that coincides exactly what Pariah's storyline is in the comics, except that he was more of a scientific genius. He's a massive scientific genius. So they made Nash more like the Indiana Jones / Ghost Mythbusters, or that type of character. So and then Oliver dies right there, and you're like, I went, what? He dies in the first episode of this crisis event? Oh, my head exploded. I went, are you effing kidding me? So basically, Oliver dies in this first episode. And everybody is now not like, what the heck is going on now? They thought they literally thought, and also Barry was going to reveal to Oliver a secret, like something that he saw in the future in that article when he said that he disappeared. He was going to reveal something. Like, I'm going to tell you right here and now. Now, so that's the end of the episode, and it was really, really good. And now this is what I think is going to happen. Barry's not going to die. I think that it's going to be the 90s Flash. I still think because they're bringing him back. They're bringing back the 90s Flash. And they're going to have him book in his storyline. They're going to have him book in his storyline, and they're going to have Kingdom Come Superman book in his storyline, and Kevin Conroy's Kingdom Come Batman and book in their storylines. They're all going to book in their storylines. Um, I also do. This is the big thing I think they're doing. Now, previously, I said that they introduced a future Green Arrow that was a darker Green Arrow that had all this regret, all this remorse, everything. They're going to bring him to the future. The Monitor is going to bring him to the future, and he's going to be the one that's going to make everybody fight forward. Because remember, this Green Arrow does not know about Mia. He has nothing to do with Mia. He probably never had William. So that's what I think is going to happen. We're going to get a lot about this future Green Arrow, and I think that they're going to use him in this last portion. I think he's going to bring him to the future, and he's going to see Mia, he's going to see Barry, he's going to see all these heroes, and they're going to say Oliver's alive, and they're going to be happy to see him, and dude, you're going to see, it's almost like another Avengers Assemble. That's pretty much what they're going to do. Oliver Queen is going to come from the future and book in his storyline. That's what's going to happen. He's going to book in his storyline because so because the Monitor screwed up. The Monitor screwed up. He thought that he saw the end of Oliver's story, but that's not the Oliver. He saw this Oliver story end way earlier than it was supposed to be. So that tells to me that he's gonna use the future Oliver Queen. That's why they introduced him. They're gonna introduce him, and I'm beyond happy about that. I am very, 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 very happy about that. I am very happy about that. I'm hoping that they do it, and it's done very, very well. Um, Here's another thing. Everyone's got to remember back even in the Flash storyline, and this is after even Nora. Nora reveals that in the midst of the Green Arrow, Batwoman, Supergirl, and all these great heroes from different dimensions, they watched as Barry Allen the Flash runs into the Speed Force to prevent the crisis event. So if Green Arrow is supposed to die here, that means that literally that newspaper should be changed. Now, if they change it in the Flash episode, then okay, that throws my whole theory out the water. But I think that they're going to keep with that story. I think they're going to keep with that narrative. And I think that they're going to bring the future Green Arrow into the past, as a penance for he screwed up. He screwed up and got this version of Oliver murdered. He got this version of Oliver killed, and he's going to lead them. He's going to lead them to fight against the Anti-Monitor and all these other enemies. Now, we don't know who else is on the Anti-Monitor side, but we do know two things. The Psycho Pirate is going to have to be in there, and so is the Reverse Flash. But we don't know if they're going to bring in Deathstroke, which is either Manu Bennett or Grant's version. We don't know. And we don't know who else they're going to bring in. In my personal opinion, bring in 3. Don't bring in too many, because then you're going to convolute a lot of crap. I think they just bring in 3 of them, which should be Deathstroke, Reverse Flash, and Psycho Pirate, and that's it. And just have it the Anti-Monitor. So we're gonna see what else is happening, and I think that that's where they're gonna go with. And I still believe in my heart of hearts, I think that it's gonna be John Wesley Shipp's 90s Flash that's going to run into the Speed Force to prevent all this crisis event, and still solidify that they're gonna have a Flash who's supposed to die, but it's not gonna be Grant Gustin's Barry Allen, because then that's the end of his story. He's gonna eradicate himself and turn himself into matter energy. Positive matter energy, and just destroy destroy all the antimatter. That's what's going to happen. But I think that it's going to be the future. I think it's going to be the 90s Flash, and I think the third portion is Black Lightning's episode, and that one is going to earmark. More of the 90s Flash, and we're going to find out there that what's going to happen. So it's got an hour. This was a really good episode. I do like it. The writing was just weird. I don't know what the heck they were doing. But if I'm gonna rage it out of 10, and this is me being perfectly honest, add in the writing, add in the nostalgia, add in the creativity they did with this story, and also add in the fact that they took some risks. I give it a good solid 8. It's a good solid 8. I'm being very honest about it. The writing knocked it down. It would have been a 9 if the writing was right there. If it was good, it was really really good. But man, how they wrote Batwoman, how they wrote the scene with Lena, when they did Lena and Kara's sister, when they did that scene, it just made me go, "Are you kidding me?" And Batwoman, oh my god, dude, Batwoman was terrible. She was terrible. And now I gotta watch. The next episode is gonna be her episode. It's gonna be on her show. I hope that literally, Black Lightning does a better job. If they literally make Black Lightning repel and kneel before Batwoman, everyone's gonna complain. Jefferson Pierce is a seasoned hero. He has more years than probably Superman, and you're gonna basically have Batwoman kind of make him, kind of basically put him in his place. Are you dirt? Are you stupid? Oh man, if they do that, then a lot of people are gonna complain, and it's gonna probably be one of the worst rated episodes. Right now, this one is an 8. We have to see how Arrow and Flash makes it up, and I don't think we're gonna get a Black Lightning version. I don't think we're gonna get a Black Lightning because I don't think nothing happens on his universe. I think his universe gets wiped. His universe gets destroyed. So it's gonna be him on the Batwoman episode, and then I think Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, Legends of Tomorrow is gonna be the pivotal end of the whole thing, and that's where we're gonna get the final goodbyes to Ray's character and everything else. We're gonna find out what happens to Ray's character. So like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Crisis on Infinite Earths is actually good. This first episode is really good. We have to see how the next one is, but it's going off on a good start. And Oliver's death in the first episode, that is the shocking thing I've ever seen in my life. But we have to see what happens forward. So you guys have a great one, and I will have some other episodes out, some other videos out. But there's a lot I got to do today. So you guys have a great one. Bye.